because they have no fear of you whatsoever. The people who voted to give Ukraine another $60 billion a week ago are not afraid of any consequences because your quote unquote movement is not willing to do the right thing when it's the right time. You're willing to overlook things to just win elections. That's not a side that I want to be on, and I want no association with it. We do the right thing at the right time in the right way for the right reasons. And that has been our prime directive as a small group here. So the feuding and the infighting going on, not down to clown for that. And I take it as a badge of honor to be someone who is shunned by those who say we need to overlook something like sexual assault of an innocent person because, elections are happening and we have to overlook that. Because if you were willing to say that, then I don't want to hear word one about Hunter Biden ever again. I don't want to hear word two about Bill Clinton because all those were consensual. So that's where I stand on this as far as the connection back to I will honor the man you once were. I will honor the movement as I once understood it to be by not joining it right now and not coming together in the way that is presently constituted, which is we have an election to win. The people are the problem, which is why we're in the present predicament that we are as a nation.
Right. Exactly. And it should be no shock that we're aligned on this. I mean, it's kind of a shock to me that more people aren't. Even somebody in our chat, and excuse my language, if you have kids around, you might want to mute it. They said something to the effect of, why don't you guys address the feud between Kyle and James O'Keefe? And why is Kyle acting like James fucked his wife? Well, to you, sir, and to actually everybody listening, we'll just go right to Psalm 1. The way of the righteous and the wicked. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night. God's law is for today, everybody. It is for today. And when people think that it's okay for a drunk 20-year-old to be targeted by James O'Keefe and Project Veritas and whoever else and act as if that's just normal behavior in a bar, it is not. And you need to go and meditate on God's law. And because she worked for Chuck Schumer, that makes it okay, or she's drunk, so that makes it okay, or all sorts of people do it all over the world and nation, so that makes it okay. Wrong is wrong. And we talked about this yesterday on Kyle's show. What they did, James, how he was touching her, non-consensual contact like that in Washington, D.C. is a crime. At a minimum, it's a misdemeanor assault. Because somebody who is so inebriated as she was, by law, our law, cannot give consent. So she was already incapacitated to the point where she could not even give consent. And then he starts touching her and fondling her. But, why is Kyle acting like James fucked his wife? That's a problem. That's a no for me, dog.
Hey guys, what up? Total Control 871. Welcome back to BitChute. Welcome back to Rumble. Welcome back to free speech that apparently Kyle Seraphim and his motley crew of Suspendables are actively censoring. Yes, people, you heard it right here. Apparently, I have been banned, blocked, kicked off, whatever language you want to use. I am now no longer able to comment on the American Radicals podcast because I said a no. Ooh. Yes, that would be me. That would be my comment that Garrett O'Boyle was talking about. I was the one who wrote what is going on between, basically, the gist of what I said was what is going on between Kyle Seraphim and James O'Keefe. That, yes, I've been watching Seraphim's podcasts for the last week or so, and it's like almost every episode he goes off onto a tangent attacking James O'Keefe, and frankly, I'm wondering, what's going on because he makes all these allegations alluding to, and a lot of innuendo. But he doesn't really seem to bring a whole lot of receipts, I checked out his Twitter page. At first, when I checked it out, I couldn't find anything. I did a bunch of Google searches about, any kind of beef or feud that would be between them. I went to one site that apparently you go onto it and there's like a virus or whatever. But apparently, Kyle Seraphim yesterday, he finally uploads this 14-minute video, undercover video of James O'Keefe, some other guy, and this drunk chick at a bar. Apparently it's in DC. Now, apparently this chick allegedly works for Chuck Schumer. I have not heard from James O'Keefe. I've been trying to keep an eye on James O'Keefe's social media activity. He doesn't really seem to be actively engaging this or feeding the Kyle Seraphim troll. He's not really feeding the troll. So all I can do is go on what's been produced. What evidence do you have? And Kyle Seraphim wasn't really bringing forth. He made a lot of innuendo. Some rather serious, disturbing innuendos, accusations, basically saying that James O'Keefe was this notorious sexual predator preying on young women, taking advantage of them in a vulnerable state. Okay, I'm willing to tender that if you're willing to render that currency. Can you render those receipts? Because I'm not seeing it. So eventually, like I said yesterday, Kyle did indeed put up that video, 14 minutes, and I was very disappointed to learn that all of the innuendo in all of his podcasts leading up to this video going up on his Twitter page, it did not bear fruit whatsoever. If I'm not mistaken, even Viva Fry had to call out Kyle Seraphim. I was, shout out to Viva Fry for calling it out, shouting it out, because I just didn't see it. Now, unfortunately, Viva Fry didn't play any of the video. I don't know if it was because he didn't, but no, Viva was commenting on what he saw. So he really should have put up an excerpt of what was going on to give us a taste or some sort of understanding of what was going on. He did not, but rest assured, your boy Total Control, I am here and I will put up that video, or at least some portions of it, and we can mull over the video and talk about it. Okay, guys, we're going to get into this video that I got from Kyle Seraphim's Twitter page. It's about 15 minutes. I wish I could play the whole thing for you, but because I'm on such a time constraint, I'm just going to hit a couple of time indexes and give you my thoughts on that.
Oh my God.
Okay, first issue I'm going to take here is where Kyle says that this is James O'Keefe uncut. That is a bold-faced lie. I don't know if it was Kyle who edited this footage this fashion or if it was furnished to him edited like this. But what you just saw, it makes it look and appear as if James O'Keefe is purchasing alcohol for somebody under 21. The reality is that as this video plays out, we learn that she doesn't say that she's 20 until after the alcohol has been purchased for her. Also, we have absolutely no idea if how long she's been there in that bar, allegedly. And frankly, the woman definitely comes off as an operator. I wanted to point something out to you.
Just want another drink? How many drinks do you want? Look. That's right.
Well, that all. I'm 32. How are you?
I'm 20.
What?
20, zero. Don't you think I'm a nice guy? I think I'm a nice guy. Say bye to me. I just want you a drink. You want another drink? Look. How many drinks do you want? Look. That's right.
Okay, the next part that I want to point out to you, I'm gonna see if I can blow this up. This is broad daylight. Okay, if you take notice, you will see that this is not late at all. I don't exactly know what part of the year this was filmed. I'm not seeing a whole lot of heavy coats, so it might be something recent. The point that I'm saying is that for this woman, the way she's acting, it's as if she is highly, like she is smashed. You normally don't see that kind of smash drunk until it's like midnight or later. And frankly, it would be at a nightclub, a booming, thumping dance club, something like that. What we see going on here, this is a social, look at this. This is, it's got upbeat music, but this is a social bar. This is not a nightclub, and it's in the middle of the day. I mean, it looks like the afternoon, like maybe 6 or I could say that because now you still got daylight after 6 o'clock. But for her to be that drunk, how long has she been drinking? You see what I'm saying? There's a lot about this whole thing that just doesn't add up, and it gets very suspicious. This is the part where James he's holding her hand like this, and it looks as though he might be trying, I can't say for sure, but it looks like he might be trying to keep her hand off of his dick or shoving her hand down his pants, or maybe even, might not necessarily be anything particularly sexual, but she might be sticking her hand in his pocket looking for his cell phone. The reason why I say that is because later on in this video, the woman is clearly trying to steal James's cell phone. I would say that I would, reach for her being a professional operator, but the way in which she does it, because she's trying to do it under the guise of, oh my God, I'm so drunk. Oh, no. Because you're not just simply grabbing where your fingers kind of go into his breast pocket there. You clearly use your left hand to get the phone, because of one of those large ass expensive phones and shit. And it's not because she probably thought that she could slip it out of his pocket, maybe work it out of the pocket with her one hand, but she clearly becomes aware that she's going to have to use both hands in order to get this phone.
Don't you think I'm a nice guy? I think I'm a nice guy if they buy me. I just bought you a drink. You want another drink? What? How many drinks do you want? Fuck.
Okay, the next thing I'll point out here is that is not the language of a sexual predator looking to take advantage of an inebriated woman. It's sad that I have to point this out. You don't have to be an FBI forensic psychologist to know this. It's pretty right there in your face that if James wanted to take advantage of this woman, then he would not be bitching about having to buy her another drink. He would give her an endless reservoir of booze, because that's what sexual predators do.
What do you want? Let's go. What do you want to drink? What do you want to drink? Oh my God, you guys are so nice. What do you want to drink? I'm from Europe. I know where you're from. What do you want to drink?
Schumer would drink drinks. Why don't you drink?
What do you want to drink? Aperol? All right. Aperol Spritz.
You're my spirit animal.
Yeah, but
I won't.
you look like such a loser.
I'm so sorry, not a loser.
I really promise it.
I know.
Okay, so what we can see here is that the woman, she knows where James's wallet is, okay? It's in his rear pocket on his right, okay? So if she wants to rob his money, well, then she'd be reaching there. But of course, we see that that isn't where she ends up reaching.
I'm a loser. Your boss Chuck Schumer will call me a fucking loser, right?
I don't speak to him. I don't speak to him. I speak to him on Wednesday. Oh my God, kiss him the cheek.
Okay. She says, number one, kiss her on the cheek, and she's grabbing both of their necks, pulling their faces to her face, okay? Again, this woman is being very handsy, very hands-on.
Oh, it means more than you think.
Hey, call Chuck, tell him to do me this.
I can't make a meeting.
Yeah, bring Chuck that little bitch out. Bring him out.
Chuck Schumer
Chuck Schumer, yeah, Chuck
is
Schumer.
my best friend.
He's your best friend.
I love him.
I don't believe that you even work for him. I think you're lying to me.
You work for him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're a liar. You're a liar.
Oh, yeah, I like her. She's sexy. She's sexy. Oh, yeah.
Okay, again, that's the kind of language that you do when you're plying information, not trying to get inside somebody's panties. He's obviously trying to elicit proof. Okay, this is what you say, but can you prove it? Now, yeah, I will admit, he probably, if indeed she actually is drunk, and that's a big if indeed she is drunk and she lets it spill her work secrets, well, then that's on her, okay? James is a journalist, whether you like his tactics or not. But the only thing I see here is somebody trying to acquire information, not a sexual conquest. Okay, I see this is getting up to 10 minutes, and I really got to keep this short. Let's just jump ahead to where she tries to pickpocket dude.
You know, tell me what Chuck Schumer does with my fucking heart.
Maybe.
Maybe. I like you. Oh, take my tie off.
I don't like you, maybe.
Yeah, I just met you. This is crazy.
Okay. He confirms that both of them just met her. Okay, just met her. So that means that she was that smashed, if indeed she's that smashed and not just faking it. Whatever her condition is, she was that way before either of these guys came along. And frankly, I'm still wondering if dude wasn't in on this little psyop of a job.
Here's my number. Tell me, baby.
Too many buttons.
Too many buttons, too difficult.
I got one big bun for your vagina.
You can always take the bow tie off.
I love to see you guys. You guys forget
There you go. More handsy, more grabbing. And remember, Kyle says that it is this woman who has retained counsel. Okay? Her hands are all over O'Keefe's body. Just all over. But we're supposed to believe that she's the victim.
I love you. You're great. I love to see chest too.
Does that make you horny?
Horny? I would say horny.
I still don't know if I believe that you work in politics, though.
If you see my LinkedIn,
I don't really spend a lot of time with Hey, LinkedIn?
I know I love the real people.
You love the real people? Like, am I a real person?
If I believe you. But if you like me, I will.
And there she goes. She just grabbed his phone, but it's larger than what she thought, and she's hoping that O'Keefe is too distracted and that he won't notice that she's trying to lift his shit.
What are you doing? Stop messing with my...
See? Now she has to use this second hand to steal it. Because right now, at this point, she might be just simply trying to grab his shit and run out the door. You know, this might just be like a robbery. James's hands, both of them at this point, they're up in the air, doesn't want to touch her, doesn't want her touching him. Okay, this is the most bullshit I've ever seen.
So hot. I want to fuck you.
Yes.
We got a lot of guys here.
I will try my best. But I'm so hard.
You're hard? No. Don't be hard. Don't be wet.
Would you say that you're tight or that you're loose?
You're so funny. But I am very. I know in America, it's the word tight. Tight is so hard. But loose is for.
Loosey goosey.
Where is your boyfriend?
My boyfriend.
Why isn't he here? Well, then he doesn't love you, obviously, because he would be here if he did.
Yeah.
Okay. In addition to being hesitant to buy her more alcohol, and by the way, the sequence of events, I believe in the next couple of minutes, she finally discloses that she's technically or allegedly under 21, underage. Because that's the way the video is edited to make you think that O'Keefe knows that she's under 21 before he whips out that $100 bill to buy more alcohol. That's not the fact. That's not the reality at all. That comes later. Here, he is trying to get this woman to find out, where is your boyfriend? Let's get him here. Again, this is not the behavior of somebody being a sexual predator, hesitant to buy you more alcohol, and is trying and is making inquiries. Where's your boyfriend? Shouldn't he be here? Can we get him here? Maybe send you home with him.
Valid.
You're so funny.
I'm just being honest.
Wait,
I'm just being honest. You want me not to lie? You want me to lie to
In
you?
America, you guys know time out.
Time out.
But you want to, you told me you want to fuck you.
Oh my god.
Oh.
If you want to fuck me.
Oh, baby. My room, my room.
Oh,
Okay, so tell me.
Let's go.
Okay. No, I don't
You want me to
kiss.
kiss you? You don't kiss?
You fuck but you don't kiss?
Would you kiss, would you kiss my dick?
So she fucks but she doesn't kiss.
Would you suck my penis?
Your penis, how big?
Okay, so we basically see the actual vulgar language is coming from whoever the guy is, you know, who may be her accomplice or maybe not. So the next part that I want to jump to here is the infamous grabbing of the titty. It is clearly not James O'Keefe, but rather the other guy that grabs her boob, okay? And frankly, she already said to grab her boob. She wants her boobs touched. You see what I'm saying? And we're supposed to, and Kyle Seraphim is infantilizing the situation, saying that she can't consent because she's too drunk, okay? So, but of course, women want to be taken seriously. Nobody ever says that a man is too drunk. That, you see what I'm saying? All right, let me just jump ahead to where the tit gets grabbed.
Because I'm not shaved.
But my boobs are for intimate.
But your boobs are really, can I
What
see
does
it?
that mean?
Can we see?
Grab them.
Can we get a,
Whoa.
can we see? Bring him out.
Grab them. I don't know if you can
What do
see.
you mean they're
Okay, twice she said grab them. And let me see if I can get this shot queued up for you correctly.
You need to be shaved. You're so hot. I promise I'm not shaved.
But my boobs are for intimate.
But your boobs are really, can I
What
see
does
it?
that mean?
Can we see?
Grab them.
Can we get a,
Okay. We clearly see that this is not O'Keefe's hand. This is, so this right here, James O'Keefe, okay, he's standing right there. And his left hand is over there. However, this is O'Keefe's friend. That's his left hand, whoever his name is, okay? James O'Keefe at no point ever touched this woman's tits, at least not in this video, okay? This is a complete bullshit psyop. I do not think that I am some great investigative journalist to the point where, you know, my great genius was able to unearth this truth. Anybody with a pair of eyes and common sense can see this. Kyle Seraphim can see this. Steve Friend can see it. Garrett O'Boyle can see it. However, they've chosen not to see it. They've chosen to perpetuate an edited, deceptive lie. So like I said, I was very disappointed in Kyle Seraphim. There has been talk that he is either deep state and still very much indeed a current FBI agent, or that he is some form of controlled opposition. I do believe he is controlled opposition. Things have gotten very strange. His whole everything has suddenly shifted and changed in the last couple of months, if you've been paying attention. Dare I say, it would seem to be hinged or predicate on the fact that we're now leading up to the summer pre-election. I do believe Kyle has been activated.
Congratulations to both of you. You carried out a very difficult and dangerous mission. And you did it despite any personal misgivings you may or may not have had. And for that, I'm very proud. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I do believe Kyle has been activated. The Suspendables have been activated, so to speak. You know, that deep sleeper cell, I believe it's been activated, and that they are now just basically attacking James O'Keefe. Now, I want to talk about the allegations. The first allegation that I heard about James O'Keefe from Kyle Seraphim had to do with his money, not so much any kind of sexual impropriety. So apparently Kyle was not a big fan of the way things went down with the whole infiltration of Project Veritas, and apparently the leaked documents giving some sort of talking about the mismanagement of money, or what James was spending the organization's money on. Now, I'll tell you this, okay, because they were saying that it had to do with helicopter rides, yachts, or Uber black car, whatever. Apparently it was a lot of expensive things, okay? Now, Kyle seems to be thinking that the people who are defending James are his groupies, that they are devotees that will look upon James as can do no wrong. I can assure you, I am not one of these people. I will definitely call out James O'Keefe for any kind of impropriety should I see it. Now, if you guys recall from the last video I made about James O'Keefe, where I told him, you know, using a Madeline Lingle, Wrinkle in Time analogy, how I said how the three Mrs. Watson, Mrs. Who, Mrs. Which, that line from the book, although we travel together, we travel alone, and that they can't be so clicked up and buddy that, you know, because anyone could fall to darkness, and the mission objective is paramount. That's what must go forward. And if you have been paying attention to Kyle Seraphim's rhetoric, you will hear that that's what he's basically attacking. He is attacking he's attacking anybody who is placing mission objective, because that's what he's saying. It all has to do with your tactics, your ways and means. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Ways and means. He's taking issue with James O'Keefe's ways and means, but as I just showed you, I didn't really see anything particularly wrong with any kind of ways and means. If you want to get drunk now, the sequence of events, because Kyle played that out of place. Like I said, he leads you to believe that James was buying alcohol for somebody underage, but this person didn't disclose their age until after drinks had been bought. And quite frankly, how many drinks? That's all very ambiguous. It's a 14-minute video. I will upload it to my channel in its entirety, so that you guys can have a place to come and look at it in its entirety, okay? So I know I'm doing my own edits, so you can at least come to my channel or wherever else and see it in its entirety. Kyle Seraphim is making a lot of innuendos, the money and sexual impropriety. As far as the money goes, this is the thing that I get a little bit confused about. This is nothing new in the world of either finance. Now, true, I am not as versed in the world of nonprofits. Nonprofits, they're very, very seedy. They're very seedy. They're very ugly. It's why the Jews love them so very much. A lot of dirty money gets moved around with nonprofits. So I don't really know a whole lot. However, it is true that nonprofits are indeed free to spend their donations on what they believe will help meet their goals. That's why they're called nonprofits. They're not looking to, you know, to have a surplus of money, to have, you know, things like, you know, a profit-based thing, but to achieve a goal. So there are countless homeless nonprofits out there, okay? So let's say a homeless nonprofit has an endowment of $10 million. What if the CEO were to take $5 million of that $10 million and rent a yacht? Okay, because I think there's a lot of allegations about James O'Keefe and his sailing boat or what have you. If this nonprofit CEO were to take $5 million and wine and dine a bunch of rich people, and you know, that's half of their endowment spent, gone, okay? But if it succeeds in loosening and opening up these donors' pocketbooks, he could then put on his balance sheet, oh look, I just generated $30 million. I spent $5 million, but generated $30 million. This is what Kyle Seraphim and the American Radicals, the Suspendables, Garrett O'Boyle and Steve Friend with their, by the way, all their names are fake. I got kicked off of the channel for pointing that out as well. You know, because he in the whole episode he plays some clips from various superhero movies, Superman included. And in case you guys didn't know, the original 78 Christopher Reeve Superman, the whole helicopter save, you know, Lois is awestruck after he, you know, she's safe now. And Superman, he begins to float off and fly away. And she runs and says, "Who are you?"
God, look up there.
What the hell is that?
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me. Who's got you?
Oh, I
I can't believe it. I just cannot believe it. He got her.
Gentlemen, this man needs help. Well, I certainly hope this little incident hasn't put you off flying, miss. Statistically speaking, of course, it's still the safest way to travel.
Right. Wait! Who are you?
A friend. Bye.
You know, Lois is awestruck after she's safe now. And Superman, he begins to float off and fly away. And she runs and says, "Who are you?" And what does Superman famously say? A friend. Steve Friend. Obviously, he loves his superhero movies. So and of course, Kyle Seraphim, what is a half angel? These are people, this tells you something about their psychology, okay? These are people who see themselves as good guy heroes that are here to save humanity, okay? And honestly, what is it? I think, was it at the end of the Radical podcast where it says claims to be it? Yeah. Do I want to cut to it, or do I just tell you about it here? Or do I want to finish out this thought here? Let me finish out this money thought, okay? And then we can go to some of the more details of this whole thing. It is true, like I say, nonprofits indefinitely in the world of finance. That's nothing new. People, I used to hear people, they would yachts, cabins, vacation homes, they would write them off on their taxes. When I was younger, I was like, what the hell? How do you do that? Well, if they can indeed produce receipts that says that these locations, these venues were used to wine, dine, and generate business, generate profit, then yes, you can write it off, but of course it has to be some real profit generated from it. And that's another thing that Kyle Seraphim conveniently likes to leave out when he criticizes James O'Keefe's handling of Project Veritas's money. James did exit Project Veritas, and I get it, there's a lot of dispute over the exact dollar amount, but it was somewhere between $6 to $10 million. Project Veritas had a hefty endowment when James O'Keefe left. This is the kind of objective reality that Kyle Seraphim does not want you paying attention to. That should be of great concern to you. Why is Seraphim and his Suspendables, why are these people obscuring this piece of objective reality? I get it. You might not like James O'Keefe. Frankly, I might not like him if I were to actually meet the person, I don't have to like you. I don't have to be your best friend. Okay, we don't have to be best friends. Okay, what is the mission objective? Just like in the book Wrinkle in Time, what is the mission objective? What are we trying to accomplish? And I say that because it's taking me back to the whole, because Seraphim, Steve Friend, and he one of the videos that he referenced was Avengers, Loki, in Germany, making all the Germans bow down before him. And this one elderly German man rises up to his feet and says, very, emphatically, there will all, because Loki says, there are no men like me. And he says to Loki, there will always be men like you, meaning there will always be tyrants, somebody looking to subjugate everyone. And the irony here, if you really delve into the world of comics and superheroes, kind of like I have, like I said, once upon a time, I used to have a very, very large collection of superhero stuff, about $30,000 worth. That was many years ago. But Loki is what they would classify, these mages, magicians, people who come from the magical world. You got the mages on good guy sorcerers, magicians, what have you, and bad guy, So you would have from the Legion of Doom, you have Talia. From the Justice Society, should I say, you would have Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate is a lord of control, of order, should I say, a lord of order, and Loki is a, lord of chaos. The irony is that when it comes to things like Hitler minds, Hitler mindset, it actually comes from a need to control, a need to bring about order. This deep state that we're currently battling, it might sound weird and crazy, but that's why you see it coming from the Democrats. It's because it comes from a mindset where a person feels that what they're doing is for noble purposes. They're doing something that's for the betterment of all mankind. And like I say, I could get off onto a whole thing. If I were to write a whole graphic novel, whole comic arc, because who is it? Darkseid, spelled S-E-I-D, Semitic spelling. But Darkseid, he's always in search for the anti-life equation, and, well, if I were a gambling man, Dr. Fate would probably be more capable of giving Darkseid the anti-life equation. He is a lord of order, and that's what Hitler wants to do, to bring the whole world into controlled order. Stalin, Mao, they're all lords of order. They want to micromanage the shit out of your mind. Kim Jong-un, lord of order. Chaos people, the Lokis, the crazy chaos people, the Jokers. He also referenced Keith Ledger's Joker, where he famously tells Harvey that I'm an agent of chaos. Yeah, these people do just want to see the world burn, and they're not really going to be the type of people who are going to organize against you or organize against a particular set of people. Like he says, I'm like a dog chasing a car. I wouldn't know what to do if I actually caught it. So these are people who, granted, they'll probably destroy all of infrastructure, but hey, if you're set up to be on your own, they're not going to be the lords of order that would ferret you out of your homestead to subjugate you. They probably bring about Wild West chaos, definitely, but they're not going to be so of the mindset that they want to subjugate you for the purpose of helping you. So I just found that very interesting. So Kyle, the Suspendables, they contradict themselves quite a bit.
Protect the most vulnerable. I will protect the most vulnerable people in the hood who don't look like me and don't vote like me and don't have the same lifestyle that I proclaim that I is valuable to me. I'll do the same thing for those on an Indian reservation. The number of times that the subjects of my sexual assault investigation said to me, justified their actions and said, well, she was drunk or I was drunk. So, I shouldn't be held accountable for that. I'll do the same thing for those on an Indian reservation. The number of times that the subjects of my sexual assault investigation said to me, justified their actions and said, well, she was drunk or I was drunk. So, I shouldn't be held accountable for that. The number of times that the subjects of my sexual assault investigation said to me, justified their actions and said, well, she was drunk or I was drunk. So, I shouldn't be held accountable for that.
What are you doing? Stop messing with my... No problem. Woo! This is the phone. You let the real people, like, am I a real person? What are you doing? Stop messing with my... No problem. Woo! This is the phone. Oh my God. What are you doing? Stop messing with my... No problem. Woo! This is the phone. Oh my God.
And don't vote like me, and don't have the same lifestyle that I proclaim that is valuable to me. I'll do the same thing for those on an Indian reservation. The number of times that the subjects of my sexual assault investigation said to me, justified their actions and said, well, she was drunk or I was drunk. So, I shouldn't be held accountable for that.
I told you. They contradict themselves like crazy. What is it? Garrett and Steve, they talk about, how the government shut down speech because they didn't like it. Oh, you mean like how you banned me from commenting because you didn't like what I had to say, right? And I want to be clear here. This isn't about me, my hurt feelings. Oh yeah, also I definitely want to shout out Rumble for giving the American Radicals podcast the ability to block me. That's not sarcasm. I'm not being cheeky. I literally mean that. Shout out to Rumble, to the Rumble platform and the BitChute platform for enabling its content creators to block whoever the hell you want to block. Okay? I myself, I have never blocked anybody on any of my channels, past or present. Okay? The only ones that I've ever did block are people who just simply, they're trolls, and I get it. Garrett or Steve or Kyle, they would probably concoct an argument that I'm just trolling. No, I'm not just trolling. I had an argument. I had a legitimate question. And I like on one of my old channels, there was one troll. All he did was just simply get on there and just scream obscenities, scream nigger, porch monkey, and it had, my channel had to do with cycling rights, cycling advocacy, what cyclists are allowed to do when traveling on the open road, stuff like that. Okay, I have no idea how much of that rant was going to make it into the final cut, but yes, as far as the alleged financial improprieties, I will round that out by simply saying this. James was producing, okay? Just like how, when you go to do your taxes, if you've, whatever it is that you've written off, did it produce? James was producing. Especially, now James has talked about that in his social media post, that it is no coincidence that the death blow that he gave to the whole Pfizer, the Jordan Tristan, that whole famous, infamous video where it was completely outed that all of Pfizer's nefarious agenda, how that got completely exposed, and of course the Google executive that they rolled up on and questioned. Now apparently Kyle and his Suspendables, they seem to believe that this is not legitimate journalism. I couldn't disagree more. What about it is not legitimate? And you really got to begin to wonder, is indeed these ex-FBI agents, are they ex? I'm beginning to wonder, are indeed they still very much indeed employed by the FBI? What is it that they're doing? What is the end goal? Because that's what I really want you to fixate on. Because Kyle, he wants you to fixate on ways and means. I want you to fixate on the end goal. Kyle says that the ends don't justify the means, but what is it exactly about these means that are so unorthodox? I haven't seen anything that is terribly unorthodox. Undercover journalism has been happening for ages, okay? Kyle wants you to believe that suddenly, and you got to marvel at the fact that this is somebody that got very close to Chuck Schumer, you know. You know, Kyle purports to be a Catholic. However, long before any of this deep state stuff, the fake pandemic, I have wondered, is Catholicism really nothing more than some sort of a Jewish religion in disguise? Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't believe that Kyle Seraphim is who he says he is, and I'm not just talking about his name. In case you haven't noticed, that there is quite the difference in online personality between Kyle Seraphim and Steve Friend and Garrett O'Boyle. Steve and Garrett, they look like your average everyday person turned podcaster. However, Kyle, not so much. He definitely stepped onto the scene with quite the professional polish to him. How he presents himself, how he speaks, how he talks, okay? He has no problem whatsoever keeping the cadence and the pace of the conversation moving. You know, be it a dialogue or a monologue, he keeps it moving. And like I say, I pay attention to things. And normally he put up, oh, maybe several weeks ago. Several weeks ago, he did a particular podcast talking about his childhood and how he grew up. As I began watching, I'm like 10 minutes in, 15 minutes in, and you know what? The whole thing was just basically boring the shit out of me. It's not what I really subscribe for. I subscribe for political analysis and coverage. However, something was just telling me no. Keep listening. Keep listening. A strange voice said to just keep listening, and I'm very glad I did. Basically, by the end of the whole episode, what I was able to discern was that Kyle, his family, supposedly, if you can even believe the backstory, father was in radio. So that would explain Kyle's professional style voice, his mannerism, how he engages the camera. This is nothing new, okay? Nothing new whatsoever. You know who this guy is? It's Anderson Cooper. Now, I'm sure you probably knew that, but what you may or may not have known is that Anderson Cooper, he used to work for the CIA. Now, sending supposedly ex-agents out into the world of corporate media, this is nothing new to them. They've been doing it for a very long time. The CIA, FBI, these intelligence agencies, they have long recognized the value of controlling and manipulating public opinion. Now where have we heard that? Oh, right. Yes, the American Radicals, if I'm not mistaken, they did their whole series on the Animal Farm.
Single one, because it made sense. Like this one about Joe Scarborough I mentioned, the quote from Goebbels I put, think of the press as a great keyboard on which the government can play. That's Squealer. That's Squealer. He's the propaganda czar. Or like this one, there will come a day when all the lies will collapse under their own weight and truth will again triumph. We'll see if we get to that type of point in Animal Farm. But it's, and then like some of these clips, it's you know, Karine Jean-Pierre, it's Mayorkas, it's all these people. Oh yeah, he's sharp as a tack. This is the best Biden, and it's like all of you are the propaganda machine. This last one I'll throw out here from Goebbels. It is the absolute right of the state to supervise the formation of public opinion. We see that in our own nation. This is what Napoleon, his dogs, and Squealer are doing. And we're going to see it more. We're going to see it a lot in these chapters as we go. And hearing what he just said there, man, it's crazy. And I think we talked about this recently too, like the protected categories of speech. It's, unprotected speech is actual incitement, is an actual true threat, is child porn, is a couple other categories. Guess what, Squealer Dan? Mis, dis, and mal information are protected. They're protected under the First Amendment, whether you like it or not.
Right? Where you had no problem whatsoever pointing out how the government has no problem wanting to manipulate and control your mind. Now, the irony there is that Kyle doesn't call them out as... He talks about how James O'Keefe, his ways and means are wrong, and that he shouldn't be doing it. When I hear Kyle and the Suspendables talk like this about O'Keefe or whoever else, what it says to me is that these are people, these are either deep state agents, or if they truly are suspended and against the FBI and the intelligence agencies the way they purport to be, then it tells me that these are people who are truly oblivious to the scope of the situation. Okay? And what's so strange is that they, in all their podcasts, I wish I had time to give you a compilation, but in all their podcasts, they have no problem whatsoever acknowledging and admitting what's going on. How the jails are being emptied of violent criminals and how political dissenters are being thrown in them. They have no problem whatsoever pointing that out. However, they don't see that as a bridge too far. James O'Keefe getting some drunk chick to blabber about Chuck Schumer, that, according to them, is a bridge too far. That kind of reconnoitering should be of great concern to you. Clearly, they do not have, either they don't have the ability to correctly analyze and assess the situation. And you know what? I don't think it is that. I think they do have the intelligence and the ability to analyze the situation, which is why I have no other choice but to label these people as controlled opposition, deep state operatives. I mean, come on. If Kevin McCarthy wasn't evidence of it, Mike Johnson, oh my God. That man is deep state through and through. And you know what? I think a lot of the world is beginning to wake up. It's why Israel isn't garnering the sympathy that it thought it was going to get post October 7th. They were banking on a lot more sympathy than what they got. Israel is starting to learn that, guess what? The world has had it up to here with their bully tactics. If I'm not mistaken, it is being rumored, the scuttlebutt, and it is just that, only a rumor. The scuttlebutt is that Daily Wire is taking a hard look at Matt Walsh. Matt isn't getting on board with the pro-Israel propaganda. And it looks like the Daily Wire might be warming up the wave motion gun. I've used the Star Blazers metaphor before. When they fire the wave motion gun, yes, it has awesome power. Yes, it's scorched earth, the whole scorched earth thing, but it creates such a ruckus. Everybody sees it. Everybody knows. And quite frankly, it only confirms what you yourself are desperate to deny. That the Jewish oligarchy have omnipotent, godlike power. So everything that you're doing to try and tamp down, censor, okay, and control the situation, it only makes the situation that much more out of control. And I got a strange feeling, I think Kyle Seraphim and his crew, they're about to learn that lesson, not necessarily because of me. I mean, hey, I'm used to getting deplatformed, deleted, what have you. Okay. But the more you censor, the more it becomes apparent that you yourself are becoming a dictator. And you gotta love the irony. Steve and Garrett, of all the video clips, superhero video clips they played, yeah, they had the audacity to play the clip where Harvey Dent says either you live long enough to be the hero or you die the enemy. You become the very thing that you are hating. So like I say, they fully understand. They don't really have an excuse. But that's what's happening. Apparently, Kyle doesn't like James O'Keefe's methods. Well, you don't have to like his methods. Okay? I seriously doubt... There's something weird about the whole video anyway. Okay? Something very weird about it. Was she actually that drunk? I mean, frankly, nobody else was... I mean, that was like a bar, like a social bar setting. She was like night rave, nightclub drunk. She was like nightclub drunk, and everybody around her was social bar tipsy, So it's just, she was very much indeed out of place. Her character that she was playing was very much indeed out of place. Okay. And like I pointed out, I have no idea why the Suspendable crew is trying to say that Kyle grabbed her titties. He did not. The other man touched her boobs, not James. I mean, you're always bragging about your FBI credentials. You're not able to discern a left hand from a right hand? I think they can, and I think they know. For whatever reason, they are trying to definitely discredit and smear, basically obliterate everything that is left of James O'Keefe. Okay? Like I was saying, to wrap up my thought about the whole money thing, I really don't care. So if somebody were to come to me, if video were to leak of James O'Keefe spending Project Veritas money with him snorting lines of coke with a donor, I really don't give a shit. And no, I know what you're thinking. Oh, well then, see, that's proof. That's proof that you're a groupie. No. That's proof that I am mission objective oriented. Okay, if considering the results that James gets, then yeah, it's money well spent. Whether it's money for AV equipment or money on a couple bags of blow. As long as he's getting the results, the exposés, then frankly, I don't care about the rest. I said it before, that whole show, what is it, Handmaid's Tale? Yes, they never really got too deep or into it. The whole shooting on the Capitol Hill, where the congressmen were all slaughtered and mowed down with automatic gunfire. That isn't the beginning of the coup. Do you understand that? Because Kyle feigns ignorance over not understanding the scope, the breadth of everything that's going on, what's happening with our republic, what's happening with our democracy, what's happening to our country. He suddenly started feigning ignorance like he doesn't understand the severity of the situation. When you pull a maneuver like mowing down and slaughtering a slew of congressmen who weren't on board, because apparently some of the congressmen were willing to become commanders, in the New World Order of frankly, the whole Handmaid's Tale thing. Dude, the whole series, that's a sexual fetish thing, right? It's somebody's attempt at taking a category of pornography and making it into legitimate. And who loves cuckold, rape shit more than Jews. Jews love this shit. I don't know why, but apparently it seems to be their thing. Okay, they love it when other men fuck their women. I don't know why. It's just something that they do. They're big into the whole swinger scene, the whole wife swapping thing. They love this shit. Don't ask me why, they just do. Okay? So apparently, so when you think about the percentage of Jewish congressmen and senators, and when I say that, I mean even the deep state ones, the ones like Mike Johnson. He's a Jew. Johnson's a Jew. McCarthy's a Jew. Zionist. Okay? So these people, when you stage that kind of a coup, when you whip out the automatic guns to slaughter Congress, that's the final stroke in your coup, not the beginning. I'm going to say it again. That is the final stroke in staging your master coup. It is not the beginning of a coup. That's how it ends. It ends with the slaughter of lawmakers. It doesn't begin there. It ends there. That means you have everybody else in place, which is exactly the way it was in this show. Suddenly, women were out and about on their own. They're told, go the fuck back home. If you need anything, send your husband to get it for you. And you would have thought that, oh, that's a work of fiction. Nobody would comply. Are you sure? Did or did not the government try to make breathing normally illegal? Okay. Around here in my neighborhood, they like to have things called coffee with a cop. Coffee with a cop. Could you ever envision a future where the police storm your door, that battering rams tear down your door? What is the offense? Oh my God, you've got a can of coffee. You've got a pound of ground round. Come on, people. Wake the fuck up. This is where it's going. The climate zealots, they are definitely setting all this into motion. If I'm not mistaken, Zero Hedge. Zero Hedge had a very gripping article on this. They put it out, I think, yesterday. And frankly, everything that they were talking about, Tyler, what is it, Tyler Durden? Buddy? Dude, I was saying that 2.5 years ago. You're late to the party. The climate zealots are going to try and criminalize everything. If you're not eating a bug, living in a pod, lab-created meat, face suffocated, windows taped up and blacked out, if you're not doing that, then you will be sent to the concentration camps. Multiple injections. If you don't take your multiple injections, you will be sent to the concentration camps. So like I say, I really don't care at all about, what spent money, yacht trip, a helicopter ride, a this, Uber limousine, or whatever the hell it's called, okay? I really don't give a shit. As long as he's rendering results. Results that apparently are quite quantifiable. How do we know this? Easy. They had a multi-million-dollar endowment. And when James O'Keefe was kicked out, what happened to their multi-million-dollar endowment? Oh, right. Bankruptcy ensued in a matter of months. Okay, Kyle, Steve, Garrett. So as you're out there working yourself up into your tither, getting your little panties in a twist, getting your Ranger panties in a twist, those are facts that cannot be denied. James O'Keefe was getting results, real results. And he had a money endowment to back it up. He had the donors. Everything was going gangbusters. Well, that is until you came along, Kyle. I mean, right? If I'm not mistaken, a few videos ago, you were sitting there trying to explain away, you know, the whole, was it 2 years ago at the AMRAD event, you know, the whole AMRAD convention. You sat there and you tried to claim that, oh, I didn't want to be there. How does it go, Kyle? You didn't want to be there, but you did it as a special favor to some girl. Oh, really? Is that what your FBI training told you? Special favor. Like I say, Kyle, you are acting like James fucked your wife. And apparently you don't have a problem whatsoever with censorship. You love it every bit as much as the radical left. Yes, you do. So you can sit there and talk all your shit, and Garrett can quote all of his scriptures that he wants. If I'm not mistaken, doesn't it say somewhere in the Bible that there will be people, deceivers among you? These people will know the Bible frontwards and backwards. Yeah, I get it. I might not be some biblical scholar, but I tell you, the things that I do know, they sure do come in handy. There will be many among you who will deceive. Many will come in my name. That's what the word says. So yeah, all I can do is go on what actually has happened. Kyle, for the last couple of weeks, he's all been about innuendo, telling you things, you know. He tells you one thing but shows you another. Okay? He tells you that James O'Keefe practically raped some woman, some poor woman half his age. But is that actually what you saw? No. What I saw and heard was James O'Keefe questioning, "Where is your drink? I thought you just had one." Okay, somebody looking to take advantage of you is going to want you to drink as much as possible, not try and slow you down. He kept asking the woman, "Where is your boyfriend? Shouldn't he be here?" Seems to me like he was trying to give you a way out. Send you home with somebody responsible. Everything that James O'Keefe did in that video, it seemed to be the actions of a person trying to get you to slow down, stop drinking, and maybe you should go home. But Kyle Seraphim, should we get another video clip here? Steve, a little Obi-Wan Kenobi? These are not the droids you're looking for. We can be on our way. Right? A little Jedi mind trick, huh? And frankly, to all of Kyle and Steve's and Garrett's audience out there, when anybody really, not just them, but anybody, when they tell you one thing and then show you another, that is one of the worst expressions of contempt for your intelligence or lack thereof that I can think of. That's them basically saying that they think so little of you that you are stupid sheep, that it takes nothing whatsoever to just simply mind fuck you. I bet they laugh about it. When the podcast is over, they call each other and laugh their ass off. But not me. And I guess that's why I was blocked and my comment deleted, right? Yeah. Yeah, I tried to go find my comment so I could screenshot it, but they definitely wanted to censor all that away. You know, but wait, what is it? How does it go? I'm looking at my notes here. Oh, the government shuts down speech because they didn't like it, right? Isn't that what you said? Just another hypocrite. Oh, by the way, speaking of hypocrites on the right and whatnot, They're not the first one. I think Dan Bongino kicked me off a stream because I questioned the fact, what did I say? I said something to the fact, because all of these are right-wing, they're selling their sponsors. I said something to the effect, would you actually eat something, ingest something inside your body, a product that the manufacturer knows because they know who because you don't find stuff like, be it Magic Spoon cereal or Patriot Supply or there's some supplement, all those supplements, because they all sell supplements, you know. And these are things that are specifically targeted to the right. You know, if it were me, and if I wanted to do something nefarious, you know, they got medical kits out there that they're selling that they know is primarily going to be used by conservative Christians. I'm just saying, you might want to think twice. Now, granted, I get it. Any kind of nefarious chemical could be put into anything. Walmart water, they could put it in that. But what I'm saying is that they wanted to target a specific audience. And if I'm being honest, liberal podcasters who sell very similar things, they too could be specifically targeted. So like I say, it's why I don't really buy any of these products at all. And by the way, I'll also say this, if indeed Kyle and the Suspendables are very much indeed still active FBI agents, you know all that merchandise that they sell, their suspendable merchandise? Don't cry foul if all of a sudden a hit list of bank accounts are created from it. Remember, you go, you buy it, they now know who listens to what. Okay, so they would then say, if I were to buy their crap, they'd be like, oh, well, here's a bank account from Amir Bothy. This will be one of the accounts that we immediately suspend and delete. They're not down with the New World Order. How do we know this? Simple. They patron the Kyle Seraphim show, or the American Radicals, or Dan Bongino, or really any of them, Tim Pool, all of them. See? Like I say, I hope you didn't think that they were going to sit there and not turn over their list. They'll turn it over. All right, guys. So there you have it. I spoke about the money. I spoke about any kind of alleged sexual impropriety. The whole thing, it stinks. Viva Frei was very much indeed on point with his analysis. I encourage you to go over and look at it. It's a shame he didn't show you any of the video, but hey, it's what you got me for. I'll definitely give you the whole thing. You know, given the whole thing, I'm flashing now to Salty Cracker. I'm still subscribed to him, although I watch just a small fraction of his content, and it's such a shame. The character that he does, that, what do I want to say, Thrasher, 80s Thrasher, Keanu Reeves kind of, that character that he does, it's his character, it makes, I can barely hear him. I don't know, I mean, I can't hear him. I can't hear what he's saying. And I can't, it's all just slapstick. And it's sad because people, they just start giving him money for doing his character. And apparently he's extremely popular. You know, I go for news analysis. That's the one thing that I don't do with any of these podcasters. I'm not interested in reaction videos. You know, if you tell me it's a reaction video, I'm going to scroll right past it. I don't care about reaction. Do you have any kind of legitimate news analysis? Like I have just given you my analysis of the Kyle Seraphim James O'Keefe situation. I'm not giving you my reaction. I'm giving you my analysis. And like I said, Salty Cracker, his character is so ridiculous, so campy. He does the voice to such an extent that I can't even understand what he's saying anymore. And he uses a whole lot of inside joke type language. when you use that much inside joke, you're not going to grow your audience. People aren't going to know what you're talking about. And that was evidenced when he was featured on the Dr. Drew show. I saw that he was going to be featured, and because I normally I don't subscribe to Dr. Drew. He's a flip-flop piece of shit Jew shill. I don't subscribe to Dr. Drew. But for this, I wanted to know, what does Salty Cracker look and act like when he's not doing his character? And I was absolutely amazed. He was very intelligent, very on point, gave some very good analysis, and it was such a shame. This is what I subscribe to you for, but you don't do it. And what was so ironic is that Drew kept trying to get him to shift into his character, but he wouldn't do it. You know, he Salty Cracker, if I had to characterize it, it's like he felt embarrassed doing that pig squeal, whatever it is that they do. Because there he was speaking to an educated man, Dr. Drew, okay? And he felt stupid and embarrassed behaving like that on an educated show. So what does that tell me? It tells me that people like Salty Cracker, like I say, Kyle Seraphim and the American Radicals, these people have nothing but contempt for the people that they are grifting from. This tells me that these people are just performing this buffoonery for your entertainment and to grift money from you. And that they think very, very little of your intelligence level. They even, I think quite a few of them, Tim Pool, Charlie Kirk, they even talk about how it is a thing of white liberals to talk down to their little dumb little niggers. My pickaninny mind, Lord's have mercy. Woo, that white man, he's used them big words. But oh my, turns out it's happening on the right as well, among conservative podcasters. They're making fools of you. You know, one of the things that I said on the AMRAD podcast before getting kicked out was that you're never going to win this war playing nice. Because that's the whole beef was. Oh, James shouldn't have taken advantage of a drunk woman. Please. The woman, she pawed him. She clawed all over him. And I couldn't help but notice, I might have it here in my notes at a particular time index. I might have to find it elsewhere. But when Kyle, okay, I think we did go over it because I'm filming two different sections of this thing. Kyle, I probably did tell you already how Steve Friend, see, their names are so fake I can barely keep them straight. When Steve Friend did his whole sob story about working on a reservation and went to investigate sexual assaults and how he never accepted being drunk as a legitimate excuse for sexual assault. Okay, that's fine. But, wasn't the woman? Remember now, I'm not going on what you told me. I'm going on what I actually saw with my own eyes and heard with my own ears. Why? Because I've got my own mind. I'm not your dumb little pickaninny. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Ooh, that's Steve Friend. He told me that they was being touched and tickled and, ooh, my goodness. That is not what I actually saw. What I saw was a drunk woman clawing and pawing all over two men. And frankly, it was from the chest up. How many times did either one of their dicks or ass got grabbed? Okay? Who's to say that somebody's dick didn't get grabbed? They were talking about how big it was. Okay, so I get it. There was adult talk. Well, they're adults. So don't talk to me about, don't sit there and Jedi mind trick me. That's what I'm trying to say. Because I'm going to go off of what I actually saw. So tell me, Kyle, Steve, Garrett, should that young woman who's half James's age, should she be brought up on sexual assault charges? She was clawing and pawing, was she not? That's what we saw. If I'm not mistaken, James had to grab her hand. That's what leads me to think that maybe his dick was getting grabbed. Because he holds her hand to his, because she's pulling on his chest and he grabs it. All right, basically, it's a type of way of saying, he up here. Have you ever seen the cliche where a man puts his hand down below a woman's waist to touch her butt, and then she reaches in back and pulls the hand back up to the small of her back? You know, hand off my butt, dude. Is that what James was basically doing? The male version of that? You know, hand off my dick, lady. You know, if you want to touch me up here, keep it on the chest, all right? Hand off my dick. Because apparently she wanted to know. She wanted to know. If you want to ride.
If you want to ride, don't ride the white horse. If you want to ride, don't ride the white horse. If you want to ride, don't ride the white horse.
She wanted to know. If you want to ride the white horse. Whew. Looks like our young lady, she wanted to ride the white horse. Some big white dick. All right, I'm getting goofy now. All right, so that is indeed my analysis of this situation. Hopefully I won't be too much over time. This is going to be a longer one. I really wanted you guys to be aware of these deep state agents. I'm going to have to do it in a whole separate video. I'm going to be talking about being infiltrated, anti-infiltration. That's going to be my next episode because, well, too much to talk about. We're already well over an hour. I got an hour, 3 minutes here. Plus I got to splice in maybe another 20 minutes. So this is going to be something like almost a 90-minute podcast. Hopefully you stuck around for it all. And don't fall for the Jedi mind tricks. I'm serious. In these coming months, you're going to see a lot of deception, a lot of sleight of hand. Both the deep state, I think I want to say both sides, but you know, it's like both sides fully understand that the world is just populated with extremely stupid, naive, and gullible people. And that I need to help these people make the right choice. All I can do is try and wake you up. Unplug you from the matrix. All right? And Kyle, Steve, Garrett, I know you love your movie references and cinematic and television, and hey, I do too. But I definitely want you to know that even though you may have blocked me, I won't be blocking you. I won't be unsubscribing. Absolutely not. You see, unlike you, I'm not some child who storms off when they don't get their way. I'm going to be there. Like the Night Industries 2000. I'm always watching. Even if I don't comment, some places where I'm still able to comment, I don't always comment. But rest assured, I'm still going to be there, always watching, in the dead of night. Total Control 871.